Good morning, my darlings. Welcome to a new vlog. I hope you enjoyed that little scenic intro. When Jake was here last week, he filmed some beautiful clips in the garden, and I find it so relaxing just seeing all of those beautiful imagery, whether it's the flowers or even just the shape of trees. And I need to Google the word, but isn't there something that happens in our eyes and then our brains that makes us more relaxed when we see shapes of nature? It's definitely a scientifical thing. Scientifical, is that a word? Who knows? But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed watching over it. Today we are just going to be pottering around together. It's a very relaxed day at home. It's a little bit drizzly and windy outside, so I'm planning on staying inside and just pottering about, getting a few bits done. I'm pretty peckish, so I need to make myself some lunch in a second. And also over on my Instagram, I popped up 2 stories today, pushing the boat out. And the first one I was asking, let's see if anyone's actually replied, I only did it 12 minutes ago. I asked on Instagram, if you're not following me by the way, it's at Josie LDN, because I set up my Instagram during the London Olympics and I was feeling so excited about London that I made it Josie LDN. My first ever Instagram post was a photo of showing off my manicure because I had Union Jack nails for the Olympics. But I'm actually trying really hard to get the Instagram handle just at Josie, because no one is currently using it. But I'm finding it a little bit challenging communicating with Instagram. So if anyone can help spreading it out into the universe, please let me know. Slide into the old DMs. Anyway, the first story that I posted this morning was, what autumnal content are you most looking forward to? And I thought I'm going to share some of the bits, and you can let me know if you agree, if anything is missing. House decorations, clothes, what to do for Halloween in the Cotswolds, autumn cooking, seasonal resting, I love that, romanticising autumn activities, clearing out your space, cosy walks and baking, maybe do a 2-hour countryside walk, similar style to the fireplace. I love that idea. If you don't know what the fireplace video is, we basically have a 2-hour-long video on Charlie's YouTube channel. I'll leave it linked down below the video. And it's just of, we've got a few actually, one of the drawing room fireplace, one of the living room fireplace, and one of the drawing room fireplace at Christmas. And you can just leave these videos on in the background on your TV to create the ultimate cozy atmosphere at home. It's complete with the authentic crackling noises. I think in one of the videos you actually hear our fire alarm going off, so I need to redo that one. But this person has suggested a country walk version, so you could just leave that video playing. That'd be really fun to film. An autumn garden harvest, preparing your garden beds for winter. Oh, there's so much. Ooh, a Bicester Village shopping trip. Let me know down below what you would like to see here on the channel for autumn. And I know I said it in the last video, I'm a little bit annoyed how much we're talking about autumn in August. The first day of autumn, I believe it's like the 20th of September or something, but that's just the way of the world, whether it's retailers that have been selling winter coats since July, probably, to all of my TikTok feed is just that thing where it's like, I love summer, but I have an itch, and then it's people showing their favourite autumn things. It feels like it gets earlier and earlier every year, and I'm not going to start talking about Halloween. No way, I don't enter into that conversation until October. But anyway, the next box that I put up on Instagram was literally a Q&A box, and I said I'm feeling chatty over on YouTube, so let's have a little chit chat. So I thought instead of doing a very formal sit down Q&A, I thought as we just do the pottering about today, I will answer a few questions as we go. These are completely random. I didn't even give a topic, so I guess we'll just chat about all the various things throughout the day. And I'll just do one question now, and then I really need to go downstairs and make some lunch. So Hannah has said, I'm getting married in August and I want to grow my own flowers. What do you recommend? Hannah, I really hope you mean next August, not this August. And presuming that you are in the UK, I would say the best also congratulations, what a gorgeous time of year to get married. And I would say you've chosen very, very well from a floral point of view, because August is abundant with blooms, and it does obviously depend on your personal preference, but I would say if you are going colourful, then obviously dahlias. You'll have seen some of my favourite dahlias that we've got in the garden in the intro of the video, but you can grow. And by the way, right now is a good time to buy your dahlia tubers, either Farmer Gracie or Dahlia Beach Club. I'll leave some links down below to my favourite places to grow dahlia tubers. Now's also the time to start thinking about buying your spring bulbs, by the way. But dahlias obviously you can get in so many colours. You can get little tiny pom-pom ones, you can get big dinner plate dahlias, whether you're a minimalist or a maximalist, whether you're going colourful or neutrals, there will be a dahlia to suit that. And I think in a bridal bouquet they are gorgeous, they are showstoppers. If you're going a little bit more kind of like English countryside, cottagey, beautiful style, a bit whimsical and romantic, then hydrangeas. Hydrangeas, I was practically like doing a dance for the hydrangeas outside our kitchen door for our wedding, which was obviously in June, like mid-June, so early, actually technically still spring. And a few of the hydrangeas just started to peek through, but hydrangeas in August, it depends on the weather. They might be going over a little bit, but if they are slightly shaded, if you grow them in the shade, then you should have beautiful hydrangeas for August. I'm looking out the window now, and our hydrangea Annabelles have gone green, which actually I still really, really like, and they're starting to dry out. Still beautiful, but I would probably recommend limelight hydrangeas, which again you'll have seen in the intro to the video. I'll pop clips on the screen here of which ones I'm talking about, but they are so unusual with their shape. I think there's actually a hydrangea called Runaway Bride. Not suggesting that you run away, but there is a really beautiful hydrangea called Runaway Bride. So hydrangeas, dahlias, and personally my favourite flower, which I think is so romantic, and I think again there's one called Honorine Bride, the anemone. The anemones are my absolute favourite, and they are abundant in August. If you plant some I never actually know if it's anemone or anemone. I could just Google it and answer my own question, but I'd probably forget 2 minutes later. Anemones are so pretty, and do you know what you could do, and what I think, if I was getting married again, not if I was to redo it, but if I was to get married again, soz Charlie, I would maybe do a single, not just one, but like only anemones in my bouquet. Imagine just having like 20 anemones bound together with some twine. That would look so pretty, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, they would be my top 3 things that are seasonal and pretty easy to grow. And also, even if you don't manage to grow quite enough yourself, you'll be spoilt for choice when it comes to British growers that can hopefully help you to bolster the florals for your wedding. So send me pics, please, I want to see it. Anyway, many more questions, but let's go downstairs and have some lunch. I just want to really quickly show you these actually before we go downstairs. So you know I mentioned that I went to the opticians 6 weeks ago, maybe not even 6 weeks ago. Turns out I need spectacles again, which I wasn't surprised at, because over the last 6 months especially, I have been finding myself really like that, trying to watch TV. So I knew that I probably would end up needing specs, and these are adorable. I'm just leaning into the fact that I am a grandma at soul, and it's actually quite, obviously it's effective, but it's quite amazing how much detail. I feel like I'm wearing binoculars. If there was someone pottering about in that field that's probably about 3 miles away, I'd be able to see them now. Wow! Who'd have thought it? They actually work. But this pair are from Smart Buy glasses, and I did go on a little bit of a spree on Smart Buy glasses before going to Italy, because they have got the most gorgeous sunglasses. I bought a few Gucci pairs and a pair of Prada sunglasses that I showed you in the first Italy vlog, and they also have a very clever like pupil measuring tool, so it tells you like your pupillary distance so that your spectacles fit you perfectly. So that's how I got these. They were pretty affordable as well. They're not a brand, they're just Smart Buy Glasses brand, and I'll probably keep them next to the TV. And yeah, there we go. Thought I'd share that little update with you. If you've got any other kind of glasses styles that you think I would suit, then please let me know. But for now, let's go and raid the fridge and make some lunch. I can't find my tripod, so we've resorted to the 2020 ways of using water bottles as a tripod here in the kitchen. I just had a really nice kind of picky bits lunch. We actually don't have that much in the house at the moment, but I think I've spoken about these in the last of all of my the last three vlogs. Those little egg muffins that I made on Monday, I just had 2 more with some salady bits for lunch, and they are just so good. I need to remind myself if I actually vlogged properly making them, but they're essentially shredded grated courgette, a little bit of garlic powder, self-raising flour, a couple of eggs, salt and pepper, and some dry Italian seasoning, baked in muffin tins. And then I've just been keeping them in some Tupperware in the fridge and just snacking on them whenever the urge calls, and they are absolutely scrumptious. So I had that for my lunch, followed by some yogurt with my homemade granola. I'm going to do another question in a second, but first, coffee. There is a very strong chance that I've got food in my teeth right now, so I think I'm going to go and brush my teeth after I've had my coffee. Before I go into the next question, a couple of little bits that have arrived, some really random bits actually. This was very much something that was TikTok shop influenced. Do you want to go outside, my baby? Go on then. It's called a car and home massage pillow, and I get very, very tight on, or not even tight, but just like feels tense all the time on my neck and tops of shoulders. So when I saw this advertised, I thought that actually could be amazing. Apparently it's got 4 inbuilt heated kneading pads, adjustable for positive and negative settings. I don't know what that means. But yeah, it's basically a massaging neck pillow, which I love the sound of. It's literally got a car adapter. Would that be legal to drive while you've got a massage going on? I'm not too sure. I literally said the other day how I wanted to be a minimalist, and here I am today buying massage pillows. So obviously it needs to be leaning against something by the looks of it, and also plugged in. So, or maybe it charges. This is a bit strange. I really hope that it's charging right now, because that's a very, very short wire, and how often are you going to be this close to a plug and in the right position to be using a massaging neck pillow? I mean, would it reach here? Yeah, let's have a look. Ooh, okay. You're gonna like this, bunny, because Mummy's gonna be on the sofa more. Ooh. Okay. Oh, that's really nice. My God. Oh, other direction. Okay, that was really, really relaxing. I just spent a good 5 minutes enjoying this. So let me show you what happens when you turn it on. These little balls are actually heating up, and it really does feel very, very nice. Okay, so that's no heat, that's with heat. Speed. Yeah, to be honest, the setting that I had it on earlier was really good. The only problem I have with this is the fact that you need to be this close to a plug. What do you think? Would puppies enjoy being massaged? Yes, has anyone seen those like cow massages? Do you think, bunny, that you often find in farmyards? Reminds me of that. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it plugged in and see if it does hold charge, because that would be a bit of a game changer. Okay, let's do another question. Okay, this one's a little bit topical. Jazz has written, did you decide to forget the trolls from that gossip website, or did you pursue anything? Well, I don't like talking about trolls and gossip websites at all, because I don't like to put my energy to it. However, things are going on behind the scenes. There are legal proceedings taking place, and maybe once a conclusion has been come to, then I will share a big update with you. But I don't want to update you loads along the way because I don't want you guys thinking about it. I don't want it taking up too much of my mental capacity either, because it's just not something positive, and I don't really like to put too much of my mental energy to things that aren't mentally positive. So yeah, I have not dropped it. Stuff is happening behind the scenes, and if you'd like an update when the conclusion is reached, then I will definitely share that with you. Let's just say, if you've ever been remotely tempted to write horrible things about someone online, let this be your lesson. Don't do it. Excuse me. ¿Cómo quieres? This is really funny. I wondered if anyone would ever remember this and bring it up, but this person has done. Time Cottage on Instagram. You mentioned a while ago that you were looking at a big project. Is it happening? You were both wearing hard hats and looking at a building site. Well, it is happening / has happened, but actually Charlie and I are no longer working with them on the project. So basically what that building site was the Cotswolds designer outlet, and it's on the edge of Tewkesbury, and we thought it was going to be quite similar maybe to a Bicester village with quite luxurious shops like Bicester, but actually it turned out down the line that it was more like a kind of more like a high street, but away from the high street. So it ended up being a project that we weren't quite as excited about. Haven't actually visited, and probably will do if I'm driving back home to see my brother, for example. I'll go and pop in. But yeah, I think the direction that they were going in with it changed, and it was a little bit less, it wasn't as much of a project that we wanted to be a part of as we originally thought it was. So yeah, it still happened. It is now open. You can visit, but it's not a project that we're involved in. Sometimes these things happen, you know, we'll spend a long time having calls and meetings with brands, and then if we don't love the end product, then we just have to walk away. So a lot of that does go on behind the scenes that we don't share with you. Interesting question and very good memory. Someone has asked, can we have a tour of your beautiful home and the history, please? I will leave a video link down below, which was actually one of the first videos that we published when we moved to this house 5 years ago, because I go into depth about the history of the house in that video. It was probably, yeah, in 2020 when I did slightly more showing you around the house, whereas now I guess you just kind of see little snippets of it throughout the vlog. I've always thought the idea of doing an actual like house tour, it's just not something that I really want to do. It would take quite a while, and I feel that you guys see it all anyway in the vlogs, so I haven't done a proper house tour. I did one when we lived in Clapham. It was a really sweet little house that we lived in London, so I'll leave that link down below in case you want to have a look at it. But I guess the closest would be when we had Lick Paint come over a couple of years ago, and we showed them in more detail a few rooms of the house. So yeah, that is on YouTube somewhere as well. You guys are so funny when you ask questions. Some of them are really like trying to get me to spill the tea on certain people or certain things going on in the influencer industry, and I'm just not gonna go near those questions. It's just red rag to a bull. I appreciate you trying though, it's quite funny. What was your biggest success in the garden this year? I couldn't really tell you. I can't say that one thing has been a big success. Overall, it's been not the greatest year. The herbaceous border is now in its 3rd or 4th year, so it's looking a little bit disheveled compared to the original plants. Do you know what the biggest success was? I would say it was the hydrangea Annabelles out the front of the house. The ones that I mentioned earlier are now green. They were so big this year, they almost looked like AI flowers. If you guys saw our Wes Anderson reel that I shared on Instagram, there was like, obviously the video was edited to put it together in that way, but there was no like color editing or enhancing or anything like that. But that reel literally looks like AI. It looks unbelievably perfect, and I think that's all down to the hydrangea Annabelles. So I would say they've been our biggest success this year. Couple of other little bits and bobs in the post. This is so funny because I was literally stood here a couple of days ago talking about the Prada picnic hamper that Prada Beauty had sent out as part of a mailer, and I did not get the picnic hamper. Can you imagine if I manifested that somehow? But I've had, and I don't think I've ever had before, I've had a PR delivery from Prada. And this is definitely the first time. I don't think I've ever tried anything from Prada Beauty before, but this is an eyeshadow palette. I wonder if I'm explaining the obvious here, or that it's maybe a little interesting snippet, hang on a sec, about the influencer industry, how PR send-outs work. Obviously brands, they can be very, very generous when it comes to PR send-outs, and they'll often send really lovely gifts alongside the products, and the aim of them doing that is in the hope that a content creator or a journalist will love the product and want to talk about it, and hopefully build a relationship with that person. But what happens is the bigger the influence the brand feels that you have, often the more elaborate the delivery will be. So for example, I might receive, and this is not me being ungrateful, I am incredibly grateful, I might receive a mascara and an eyeshadow palette. Someone else might receive a box with the full beauty collection, and someone else might receive the full beauty collection, a Prada handbag, a pair of Prada sunglasses, and a Prada picnic basket, all dependent on how much the brand wants to work with that person, how much budget behind that particular launch or campaign, and also how many followers that person has. That's one thing, and Hannah and I were discussing this last night as well, that I don't like about this industry, is that sometimes you do feel like a number above your head. It's like that Black Mirror episode. You literally are a number to some brands, not all brands. But yeah, it's very fascinating. So we have got here, ooh, oh my goodness, some very jazzy colours, bright purple. I would probably do, oops, there's little brushes, this as an all over kind of base shade. This is a lovely crease colour. Don't know how I'd use the purple, although apparently purple with green eyes is very flattering, so I need to give that a go. And then there's this deep brown at the top here, which would be really nice as a lash line colour. And this palette, you'll see, your ocean bottle tripod, is absolutely beautiful. I'd love to have this as like a bronzer or a powder that you can just keep in your handbag in this gorgeous palette. And this is a very satisfying mascara. So it's in like a textured tube, Prada written here. Let's see. Ooh, very bristly mascara brush. I'll give this a go tomorrow and let you know how it is. Up next, this is something that was actually sent by the brand, but they sent it because they saw that I had purchased from this brand before and then posted about it. And it's a brand called In Beauty Swimwear. They are, I think, a French swimwear brand. And I bought 2 or 3 of their bikinis for our previous Italy trip, tagged them in photos, and they got in touch and said, oh, that's really kind of you to buy from us. We'd like to send you another piece from our new collection if you're interested. And they are the most comfortable and flattering and gorgeous bikinis. So I said, that is very kind. I would love to receive one. So I went for this leopard print bikini. It's got stringy sides. I like the size of the bottom. You can wear this brown way round or leopard way round. They're not too covering. They're not too cheeky that like you wouldn't want to wear in front of your in-laws, but they're not so covering that you feel like they're a bit unflattering. And then the top, for those that also may have quite small boobies, a bandeau top for me is the best kind. And I thought for any autumnal swims, maybe at Soho Farmhouse or we're doing any wild swims, this is going to be a really nice colorway, and also with leopard being a key trend for autumn, why not continue that into your swimwear? And then the final thing in the post today, this is from a company, I think it's called Smile Pores. This again was recommended to me via an Instagram story ad, and I have never had that much luck brushing Dexter & Dickens teeth, but this apparently is quite a natural, I mean that is so tiny, this company is making an absolute fortune. This apparently is quite a natural toothpaste, and toothbrush in one that dogs don't mind you applying. So when they're a bit sleepy later on, I will give it a go. And I'll let you know if it works, because I'm sure I can't be the only one that really struggles to clean my baby's teeth. Dickie had to have quite a few teeth taken out not that long ago, and I really don't want to have to put him through that again. So Smile Paws, this little clicky top, it's like a cuticle pen. So we'll see if this works. I'll try it out later. So I'm just getting ready to film a video that you guys might actually have already seen if all goes to plan. I would really like to do an autumn trend video, and I think, sorry, I know I always talk about the weather, but I actually much prefer filming when it's bright and sunny outside. I think it just looks so much nicer. And BBC Weather has been promising me pure sun this afternoon, but at the moment it's pure cloud. So I've been kind of dawdling just in the hope that the pure sun is coming. Anyway, I thought I'd finally just get ready to start filming, and I'm going to start filming whatever the weather. I love to do these trend videos because I really like to research the trends just so that I have the knowledge of them when I'm putting together outfits and shopping for new things. Even though I wouldn't say that I'm a trend follower, I think that it's just good to have the awareness. So I'm going to do a video on the top 10 most wearable trends for autumn 2025, and it's either the last video that will have been on the channel or it'll be the next video here on the channel. My GHD Rise is still in my suitcase somewhere, so I'm gonna use straighteners to do something with my hair. I've not used straighteners in a very long time. Had to quite literally blow the dust off these, but I'm gonna do just some very light little curls, and while I do that, I will answer a couple more questions. Kaylee has asked about staying healthy and naturally in the second half of the year when it's cold and dark. Well, I have to say today has been a little bit of a reminder for me that I really do struggle on lower amounts of sleep. So I think prioritizing sleep, getting to bed early in autumn and winter is going to be something that I prioritize, but also at that time of year I think it's quite natural to sleep more. So I was actually saying to Lauren, our personal trainer, this morning that I'm potentially going to stop doing my 7:30 a.m. Pilates class and do the 8:30 one as we move into the darker months, because it's just not natural to get out of bed that early when it's still dark outside and trudge halfway across the Cotswolds to go and do Pilates. So I think a way of staying healthy in the second half of the year is not being like, oh, what's wrong with me, if you're really tired or if you want to go to bed early, and just lean into it. But also I would say look to nature, because I was chatting with Hannah about this yesterday, about how nature often gives us what we need at the time that we need it. So for example, at the moment we might need to be preparing our body to be as immune boosted as possible, and if you look at what's in season at the moment, it's things like elderberries, which are so full of goodness and nutrients that help to boost our immunity. So I would say a tip for surviving the second half of the year is to eat more seasonal food, like what is growing, what's in the farmers markets, because that way nature is on your side for helping you cope with anything that life might throw your way, and just leaning into nice things that you can make, whether it's an immune boosting tea or something like, I'm going to do my elderberry, sorry, I'm a bit distracted. I'm going to make my elderberry elixir. I think I wrote a blog post on that, and I will leave it linked down below, because elderberries are early this year. I've not been out to pick any yet, but I will be doing at the weekend. And also I'm going to make a lemon, turmeric and ginger little shot. Things like that, you know, you don't need, please don't go out and buy loads of like expensive supplements that are promising that they're going to boost your immunity. Just go to the farmer's market. Tell us more about your years in Spain. That wasn't me, that was Lala. It was, yeah, my mum. Mi madre vivía en Solao para 16 años. Entonces, that's where she met her first husband and the father of my brother. So yeah, it wasn't me that lived in Spain, it was my mum. Still any plans on downsizing your home? It's actually interesting how often people ask me this, and it's all because of the title of a YouTube video that I did not say in this title we were downsizing our home. I literally said we're downsizing, and what I was referring to is, or was, our holiday cottages, because at the time we were considering buying a much, much smaller holiday cottage in a different village. And it's people that ask that question about if we're downsizing are clearly very invested, but not invested enough to watch the entire YouTube video. So yeah, no, we're not planning on downsizing, no plans on moving, and actually now no plans on buying a smaller holiday cottage, because that particular one that we were looking at in that video, interestingly, someone, actually a couple of people messaged me after that YouTube video went live saying, Josie, I've actually stayed in that exact cottage in the past and it is so small, because it really was teeny weeny. The location was incredible, but it was a tiny cottage, and even then we were like, ooh, is this going to be not ideal for guests? But we thought for a couple it would be fine. But this lady emailed me and she was like, no, even just as 2 people, the cottage was so small. And yeah, we don't want to ruin the amazing reputation that we've built with Strawtop Cottages and our 5-star Airbnb, so we decided not to go ahead with that property purchase. A few questions about Vlogmas. I can't believe it. Vlogmas, have I started planning Vlogmas, is what TMR would like to know. I haven't started planning it. However, there is something very exciting that you guys can get involved with this Vlogmas. Super exciting, and I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to share information about it fairly soon, like within the next month. And it's something that's, I know that so many people are going to go mad for. It is Cotswold based. So all I'm going to say is there will be probably, there's a sufficient number of you guys that will be able to get involved. However, it's not open, like it's not unlimited. So if you want to be the first to find out about this thing and have a part in Vlogmas in a very, very fun and amazing way, then just make sure you are signed up to my newsletter, because it is within the newsletter that we will share the announcement first and share the details on how you can take part first. So just make sure you're signed up to that. I'll leave a link to the newsletter down below. So when I do my hair, I clip it up at the top. You guys have just seen the motion that I use with the hair straightener, and I don't drag it all the way to the bottom. I stop maybe 2 inches off the bottom because I don't like to have it like a pig's tail all the way down, super, super curly. This is an interesting one. 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 Home has said, do you worry about how you can maintain the brands and level that you work at? Yes, is the honest answer. I don't want to be working, like honestly, the hours that I work and the work-life balance that I have is not great. It's not particularly healthy, and it's certainly not sustainable. There are people in this industry that burn themselves out even more than I do, and I see them getting ill, and I see them like missing out on family events and, you know, not living life because they're working so much. And I know I've been through that time when you're really like grafting and building, but I think that I have got my priorities slightly more sorted now than I did a few years ago, but I recognise that the amount that I work right now is not sustainable. So also, I was chatting with Hannah about this the other day. I do put out a lot of content, whether it's newsletter, blog, so many Instagram posts, TikToks, YouTube shorts, 3 long form YouTube videos a week, and it's a lot. And I feel that many of you must be probably sick of my face. There's a lot of Josie on the internet, there's a lot of everything on the internet, but there is a lot of me on the internet, and I do wonder if I should kind of pull back a little bit and maybe just take a chill pill. But I guess in this industry, like, you never know. I'm grateful every day that I'm able to do this for work, and I never ever want to take it for granted, which I guess is why I'm just doing so much right now. But I also enjoy it, I love it, and don't want to stop. So maybe I will reduce how much I share, perhaps maybe after Christmas, I don't know. 2026 will maybe be the year of chill, who knows. But at the moment, I have no plans on maintaining the level of work that we're doing. Oh, I like this question. What would be your perfect day of autumn food? That is a question from Harriet. My perfect day of autumn food would start with probably French toast. I love French toast with like a mapley, pecan-y topping. Maybe like a maple or a pecan infused cream as the topping on the French toast with a cinnamon oat milk latte. And then for lunch, I would say possibly a pumpkin risotto. I think for lunch that would be so nice. And then something really comforting in the evening, like last year in our Ninja hot pot, I made a like slow cooked, can't remember what the meat was, but with these little kind of puff balls. They were like floury, nicely seasoned, I can't remember what they're called, like little floating puffs. Pastry puffs, there's definitely a word for it that I can't remember, with like nicely cooked carrots and beans and things like that. Something really satisfyingly savoury with some mustard mash, red currant jelly. That I would say would be my dream. Ooh, sticky toffee pudding obviously as a dessert, and a pot of mint tea, because that's a lot of food that needs digesting, so a nice mint tea to help to water everything down. But yeah, that I would say would be my dream autumn food day. Let me know yours down below. Now, I like to leave my hair kind of sitting with the freshly done curls. Bear in mind, I have not done this kind of hairstyle in a long time. Let them cool down completely, so just minimal movements, probably just do a few emails for 10 minutes while they completely cool down, and then I'll just run my fingers through them and add some texturizing spray, and hopefully we'll be looking good and a bit more glam, ready to film my trends video. I am so lucky. The sun has literally 30 seconds ago just come out, just in time for filming. The thing that makes the biggest difference is actually not even on me, but it kind of illuminates the whole rest of the room behind me, so it just looks so much nicer when filming. So I'm just using a wide tooth comb now to brush through my hair. I'm so happy with my hair colour at the moment. I get it done at Michael Van Clark with Bernie, and she does an amazing job. Bit of texturizing spray. Okay, a little bit of tweaking and we are good to start filming, so I'll catch up with you when I finish filming the trend video. Okay, filming upstairs is done, hallelujah. It does always, it kind of drains your social battery a little bit doing videos like that, because you have to be so like on it for a solid 2 hours while you're filming. So I always feel like I need to just go and lay outside on the grass for 10 minutes or something afterwards. But the sun's coming out, so I might genuinely do that. I've just put the dishwasher on, which is why I've come over here. Nice to have a little change of scenery. We've got our beautiful lilies from our subscription here on the dining table, and these ones actually don't have stamen in them, so easy care lilies, and they smell really gorgeous. This is a delivery that's that I have dreamt of since lunchtime, and it's a really exciting one. So Flamingo Estate have sent me some goodies, and you may be familiar with them if you watched my LA vlog when I went to LA. I think it was this time last year, and there were a few little lovely shops that we went to. I think it was, let me get this right, was it Newport Beach, like Bay shopping area? I'm not sure. Definitely go back and rewatch that vlog if you didn't see it, because it was one of my favorites. And a lot of these little independent boutiques had maybe candles or a book or an olive oil from Flamingo Estate. So I started to do a bit of Googling, and I believe it's two guys. I'm not sure if they're together or if they're friends. I might have got this completely wrong. They have got a beautiful estate in the hills above Los Angeles, and they farm an incredible selection of ingredients, fresh produce there, and I'm pretty sure they actually do veggie delivery boxes to many parts of LA. So a brand that instantly I was like, oh, I love it, I love it. I love their branding, I love the name, I love what they're doing, and they are really expanding their product category selection. So I think that's might be what we have here. I actually purchased a candle and a honey from them to bring back with me after that trip. So let's see what we've got in here. Really beautiful boxes that the goodies arrive in. And oh my gosh, like the colour, even the colour of their recycling paper is beautiful. Mother Nature is the last great luxury house. That's their slogan. What a great slogan. Mother Nature is the last great luxury house. Oh, that makes me a bit sad, but it's true. Okay, the name of this candle just summarizes why I love this brand. It's called the Garden Essentials Candle, and it's Aroma Heirloom Tomato Candle. Here we go. In the early 1940s, a determined pair of young renegades arrived in California to realize their vision. Yes. Of an earthly paradise high atop the hills of Los Angeles, hidden by a lush orchard and dense gardens. The Flamingo Pink Estate became a hedonistic enclave of sun worship, folk mythologies, and psychedelic remedies, a secret haven for wild alchemy in the City of Angels. Now Flamingo Estate is the home of Richard Christiansen, and in the spirit of its origins, a radical celebration of pleasure from the garden. We carefully cultivate Mother Nature's wildest, most precious gifts at a time when we need them the most. Always for pleasure, always from the garden. Oh my goodness, how fabulous is that? And even just the green that they've gone for, their logo I think is absolutely gorgeous. Their font that they use, like their branding is just spot on. So what a gorgeous gift. If you, I'm pretty sure the fact that I've been able to get this must mean that this product selection is available in the UK now. Oh, look at this. Charlie is going to go mad. Roma Heirloom Tomato, hand-poured scented candle. Literally, it smells like my greenhouse on a good day, but slightly more, it's been fine-tuned. It's not completely like, this is what a tomato smells like. It's like a reimagined tomato smell, which, by the way, is a really good candle to have in your kitchen, because there's something about the smell of tomatoes. It's so earthy and fresh that it cuts through cooking smells. So if you're hosting a dinner party or something, or you're just cooking and you want to upgrade the atmosphere, then having a tomato candle like this burning just really helps to make the air smell amazing. Oh my gosh. Love. Love, love, love. Woohoo! We've got another candle here. This time, do you know what brand this kind of reminds me of? Is 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 by Time. This is the Euphoria candle. Love the sound of the notes in this. Ionian bergamot, damask rose, and pink peppercorn. A feast for the senses, this euphoric blend conjures lovesick, flower-rich summers in Pantelleria, Louis Prima on the turntable, Nero d'Avola by the bottle, an immaculate scent profile of grassy rose meadow, herb garden, and cold citrus, preserved in 100% vegetable wax and hand-poured into sturdy, reusable containers. They have honestly... Oh, there's like a watercolour inside the box as well. There's a logo on that side and the candle info on this side. This one's more feminine, more of like a living room or bedroom kind of scent. A little bit powdery, a little bit nostalgic. That's just absolutely gorgeous. And Heritage Extra Virgin Olive Oil, a California harvest from 150-year-old trees. How amazing. Can I just say that someone posted on Instagram, and I reshared it the other day, saying if you get invited over to someone's house for dinner, don't take a bottle of wine, take a bottle of good quality olive oil. If you came to my house and bought a bottle of olive oil, especially like a really thoughtful, good quality one like this, that would be the ultimate guest gift, I would say. Again, with the branding, it's just this really beautiful dusky pink label, slightly textured, beautiful font, beautiful logo. That would be such a gorgeous gift. Sorry about the dishwasher noise, ruining the ambiance. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. And then you've got information here about the 2024 olive harvest, dynamic, vibrant and peppery notes balanced by softer fruit. Absolutely beautiful. And remember, with olive oil, it's not like wine in that you don't save it for best. You use it as soon as you can, because the goodness, the polyphenols in olive oil are so much higher closer to the harvest. So don't put it in the back of your cupboard. If someone brings you a really nice olive oil, or if you treat yourself, use it ASAP. Don't just sit on it and save it, because it will lose so much of its goodness. Fun fact of the day. Oh, here's the little note. Josie, we're excited to share with you these favourites and hope you're having a great summer. Sending love from the garden. I feel like if I lived in LA, I'd be pals with these guys. I think they recently visited Daylesford. I do follow them on Instagram and their page is gorgeous. I'm pretty sure they visited Daylesford when they came to the UK recently. Wish I'd known. And then box number 2. Oh my gosh, I think this might be their book. Ooh. Oh, this is so kind of them. I really wanted to buy this when I was in LA, but I just thought my suitcase punishment will be too much. So it's called The Guide to Becoming Alive by Richard Christiansen. Ooh, featuring conversations with the likes of Martha Stewart, Jane Fonda, Ellen DeGeneres, my new neighbour. Okay, something major has just happened. My friend Emily Canham, she moved to LA, when did she move? Like a year and a half ago. I'm not gonna spill the inside info on her private life, but let's just say that girl is living her best life in LA. She told us, the girl chat, obviously this is no longer confidential, otherwise I would not be telling you, that she was expecting a baby, and we were like, obviously so thrilled for her, but also we were like, how are you going to tell the internet? Because she's really pulled back on everything that she's sharing online. She's actually managing to have a private life, and she's also revealed in this post that she's engaged. She's basically just shared a post to Instagram showing that she's pregnant and that she has a fiance, and I feel like the internet is about to break, because people didn't even know she was engaged, and now she's announcing that she's engaged and pregnant, in the most beautiful photos ever. I'm so happy for her. She's so happy, and it just goes to show that you can live your entire life online and still keep so much from the internet. It's amazing. She's honestly done such an incredible job of keeping it on the down low up to now, and yeah, I'm so thrilled for her. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like people are just going to lose their minds. There's going to be so many questions, and I'm, oh, sorry, my button has just popped undone. Yeah, so thrilled for her. So I've just been glued to my phone for the last 5 minutes. But moving on back to our little Q&A. Oh, I love this, Conrad or Jeremiah. Do you know what, like long term, and I know that I would want to be with Conrad, because I think he is a sweet soul, and also we do all love the slightly moody bad boy, don't we? But Jeremiah, he's marriage material. If you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, it's the summer I turned pretty. Yeah, I feel like I probably would actually end up with Jeremiah, but I would definitely fancy Conrad. But it's a bit weird talking about it because these boys are literally half of my age. Someone has asked, what makes you truly happy nowadays, and how do you wind down and relax? Honestly, it's being in the garden, and I know that sounds really cliche and like the obvious thing that I would say, but every day I just crave being outside in nature, making flower displays, with my hands in the soil, I literally feel my body relaxing when I do that. So I'm desperate to get outside in a second. I think having a hobby that is separate to your work is really important. And also, of course, cuddling my babies, cuddling Dexy and Dicky, that makes me truly happy. Cuddling Dexy and Dicky while in the garden is the happiest you'll find me. It's just the simple things. It makes you realise it's not going out and buying expensive clothes, it's not living in a really beautiful house, it's just nature and sausage dogs. One more quick question. Tips for having a classy and timeless style. I love all of your outfits. Thank you, that's a really kind comment. I would actually say I'm going to plug my trend video that I literally just filmed, because I think I chatted about this kind of topic quite a lot in that video. I would say my overall tips for a classy and timeless style is investing in quality over quantity, not really leaning into trends. Dicky, don't you dare go over to your neighbour again. There's a dog behind the hedge and he keeps going and howling at him. Keeping the colour palette quite neutral, and yeah, investing in good quality fabrics and good quality pieces. You don't need to have a lot of pieces, but buy less but buy better is what I would say. What have been your top 3 seasonal recipes you've made during the summer months? Ooh, because they're front of mind, I'm going to say my little courgette egg muffins, because I know that I'm going to keep on making those with different veggies as the seasons change. They're just such a practical thing to have in the fridge. My lavender shortbread biscuits, and was it last year I made rhubarb and rose shortbread and turned them into jammy dodgers. That was amazing. And another summer recipe that I've loved. Ooh, probably, I know it's more spring than summer, but wild garlic risotto. I just love wild garlic. And you just can't beat that first thing that you forage in the year and that first dish that you make with, you know, the first bounty of the season. So yeah, all things that you can grow and find here in the UK, so you don't need to go too far to find those ingredients. Anyway, let's just have a little look in the Flamingo Estate book, because it's quite a chunky one, but I feel like I'm going to love it. Ooh, lots of text. Is it recipes? It's kind of Richard's story, Jane Fonda. Oh, it's literally interviews with certain people. Oh my gosh, is that Flamingo Estate? Is that what it looks like? Oh, wow. That is simply stunning. Well, I've just had a flick through and the imagery in this book is really so beautiful, and I've just started to have a little read. So this first bit is all about Flamingo Estate, how it got set up, and how the business evolved during COVID lockdown, all of the celebrity friends that have helped make it as well known as it is today. He's talking about tomatoes on the Ellen DeGeneres show, Kim Kardashian juicing celery for them, and how they started to create their vegetable boxes to deliver all throughout LA. And then I believe the book's going to be all these conversations with their friends, many familiar names, about becoming alive. I just love the idea of this. I'm sure there's going to be lots of hints and tips on how to immerse yourself in nature, and yeah. Oh, just so much gorgeous imagery. Look at these chairs, how fabulous. Definitely the kind of book that I want to take onto a deck chair and just enjoy in the sunshine and really... Oh, look at that as a tablescape, a tower of sprouts and a tree of carrots. That is truly fabulous. Okay, I am finally going outside now, and I'm taking this basket with me. I've already got some very muddy onions, some equally muddy carrots, and a couple of courgette in here. Of course, they are ginormous because I just can't keep up with them. And I'm going to head into the garden and just put together a bit of a harvest basket for my mum. She has got my godfather coming over to visit tomorrow, and she's going to cook something lovely, so I thought I'd take her a bundle of seasonal bits and bobs from the garden. So let's go and see what we can pick. having steak with Daylesford salads for our dinner. And you just can't have steak without mac and cheese. I made this one extra mustardy, and we've also got some beans from the garden that we're going to fry up as well. Oh my goodness, this is literally my dream dinner. But I can't stop eating the mac and cheese and the steak's not ready. Got my timings a little bit wrong. Whoops, another camera face planting the ground situation because I got my hose pipe wrapped around it. It's 8:30 now and we are going to bed. I know it's early, but Charlie and I don't know why, there's no particular reason, but we are exhausted today. I think, I literally have no reason why. We just are, it's one of those days. So going to get an early night. I've just spent the last hour doing the watering and feeding the pumpkins and the courgette, and it always chills me out so much doing anything outside. And I was listening to the Diary of a CEO podcast with Dr. Mark Hyman, and at the end they were talking about the rise in things like ADD, but Mark was saying a lot of people also have NDD, which is nature deficit disorder, and how it's so proven now how just even 10 minutes in nature can really help with your heart rate and your stress levels. So let this be your little prompt. If you haven't been outside at all today, go outside, hug a tree, take your shoes off, or just be out in nature. It really does wonderful things to the mind, body and soul. And on that very, very cheesy note, I am going to end today's vlog. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.